Welcome back, beloved. This was much requested by several of you. If I could do an after action report on my Ranger bag. There's some things that I forgot. A lot of you accuse me of being, how is it, the accusation went, how is it that the alleged most prepared man in the world can run out of gas and have to get gas from his friends on his motor ride? Well, we knew we were going to run out of gas. We were just having such a good time that we were unwilling to quit. So we checked the gas amongst the group, and there was enough. And I was prepared. That's why I have my own mix. Speaking of which, a lot of you are asking, wow, we've never seen mix like that from AMSOIL. Yes, you can buy these from AMSOIL. They are the Sabre. So these are really good for two-stroke guys, or you just want to have a little mix in something that's not going to spill and take up a lot of space. And these are tough. I've packed them around in my packs with things bouncing around. I've never had one leak. And two of them together do a gallon. So, and this is some of the best oil in the world. So these are great for us guys. So I had these on hand. One thing I didn't have that I will definitely be adding, I thought I actually had this in my pack, and I thought I wouldn't need it, and I took it out, is a siphon hose. Now, these are really going to be really important to Proho in the future because what it is, it's a little check valve. Essentially, this has a little marble in it, and when you put this in the gas, the liquid, you jitter it up and down, and that creates a low pressure. It's kind of like basically what a ram pump is doing. You're just doing it by hand. And then we'll siphon gas. So if you need to move gas from one container to another, this is important. And new bikes that have fuel injection is a big problem. Like you'd have to pick up everything and turn it upside down. So even more so with those, we all have carbureted bikes, but even so, we wouldn't have had to search around for a Coors Light can. So I will be adding that. It's minimal weight and restocking that oil. So this was a kind of one of our first tests in an austere environment for our radios. Now the war band, the group of my friends that we trained together, our war is a spiritual war. We're not about violence. I used the Bowfangs, the little Bowfangs. This is the one that we recommend. We've had good luck with. The BF F8HP, good power, and goodness, these things for the price are really tough. I have used them four seasons, in the worst dirt biking, off-road, hard enduro type of stuff versus snow biking and as low as 15, 20 below. And they still always work. I connect them to a little external talk to a TTS, I guess push to talk. It's not really the same. It's more of a remote mic. That's what it is. And I carry that here on the riser. So this Ranger bag is nice because it has a little punch out. Sorry, right there for the, I think that's for headphones. No one uses that anymore, but they still put it on there. I don't know why. But that hooks down on here on the water bladder bag, and then you have a really great setup there, really clean. You have enough antenna out that it doesn't catch on stuff, but it's going to help your signal with your buddies, right? And look how that clips right on there. Oh, boy, I'm almost sitting too low. Goodness, nothing but the best production over here. I get nervous. Anyway, it clips right there on that bag, which holds the bladder. And that just works out really good. It's the little things in life. But that antenna feeds right through an area that they have opened up for such a thing. So it's actually for the water bladder, but you can use it for your cord. And when I ride, everything's neat. Right there on my riser. This sits right at my ear, so I can hear the microphone, and then I just push it and I talk into it, even over the engine. So this is a good setup right here. The pack is the USWE, the best pack I ever had, the USWE Ranger 9. These are made in Sweden, dirt bike specific, but they make them for all sorts of sports. And they're excellent. What they've done is they've taken that ultra marathoner, we've talked about this before, type of equipment. All this was good, a high pressure pump. We run tubeless, so we need to be able to pump up to 100 PSI, as well as a headlamp, a good quality headlamp that you could drive by if you needed to. Like if you had a buddy or your own headlight went out, this would give you the ability to get back home because we're out after dark often. In the main compartment there, of course, the 3-liter water, which would be an absolute minimum. And then there's right here I keep a tourniquet and a bivvy. especially this time of year. This is a bivy sack. It's ultra light. They're not super awesome. I've actually spent the night in one of these one time, and it was terrible. I had a cheaper one, and the seams ripped out, and it was basically just useless, and I got really wet and cold that night. It was on a motorcycle trip. So I buy these better ones. Adventure Medical, this is a good one. I'll put the links to the important things down the subject heading if you want to get these. These are tougher and a little bit bigger. And I've spent the night in these on some cold wildland fires on lookout and save your life. It will keep you dry. So not ideal, but it's better than not having one. And I just can't deal with a space blanket. It's just too big. So tourniquet, right there, of course. North American Rescue, my favorites. Oh, goodness. I'm going to zip this up because I want to keep everything together, and I'll just show you. There's only two more compartments, but there's a lot of important things here. And I keep no tools on my person. The philosophy that I take on this stuff is that I ride on places where there are cliffs. Some of the exposed trails, right off, like just, it's scary. Right off to little goat track, there's a 400, 500 foot vertical fall to death. And if you lose a machine down there, it's just over. You just leave it there. So if you were to be separated from a bike, for example, and get hurt, or no longer have now you can't get back because you're so far out and your machine is gone, your survival gear, keep it on your person. Don't put that on your bike. So it seems to me to make more sense to let the bike carry the weight of all those tools, which are all metal and they're heavy. They're really the problem. And if you're riding aggressively, you're on the pegs. So you're standing and sitting how many times a day? So each time you're lifting all of this weight, you're basically doing a squat. So if you can take 4 or 5 pounds out of here, that's really vital for me. So I'm only putting on here really the survival things. If I were separated from the machine and I needed to find my way back, what am I going to need? Or if I need to do an emergency rescue. So that's kind of the idea. So radio, comms, satellite communications times 2, double up on this, 2 different companies, radio, and then the rest of the stuff. Light, I've got the light sorted out, I've got the bivy in here, but I'm not carrying any tools. Those are not essential to me, really. Those can stay with the bike. I can show you later how I carry those all on the bike and you can't even see them. So, Fox 40 whistle on the riser as well. Your voice doesn't carry very far. So you need to, if you're shouting for help and your buddies are looking for you, this is critical right there. These carry they're a long ways, probably a quarter mile or better. This next outside compartment, it's nice and full of some things learned the hard way, especially this little pad, a little right in the rain. Goodness, man, I got 2 years ago, I got separated from my group and I didn't know the area very well, and I blew by the intersection and I got out there and got away and got lost. We weren't using radios at that time, so I was out there. I didn't know it was pretty spooky. My buddy David had one of these, and he wrote a note with my name and an arrow this way, and he put it up on a tree, like a juniper tree. And I went by it twice, and I saw it on the third time, right when the light was failing, and I went over there, and I was so relieved to finally know, because it was not an area that I was familiar with. And I got out back down the truck, and they were just starting to come up to try to find me. So I always carry one of those. Signaling mirror, I've always carried a good, easy-to-use fire starter, something you've practiced with. And this is where I keep that 2-stroke oil. So that's those balloon bags, or whatever they call them, are thin, and that all fits in there really nice. And have a pencil. Take a carpenter pencil and just make it short. Sharpies are not completely reliable. Make it short, just stubby, and then put it in your pack. And you can write with that forever. And then in the final compartment, the back one, I'm going to have bug spray. Summertime, up at those subalpine lakes, the mosquitoes are vicious. And the 100% DEET, they don't seem to like that, but that's really toxic stuff to put on you. I put that DEET, on my helmet. Mostly I'm going to try to keep it on my clothing, but it helps. They hate that stuff. Low pressure, tire gauge, some wet wipes, like basically the little shower in a bag. I try not to overstuff. This is a very small pack. I'm asking it to do a lot, but it does it really well. Dox myself. I write my name in my packs in case you lose them. Actually, I had one returned to me. Name and address. Unless you're, well, not all trails would you want to leave something like that. Let me just say that. I'm going to have my tire repair kit here. That's something that's pretty important. So 2 separate ways. So this is a Park. If you want just an all-in-one, you don't have to make sure you have everything you need. Park tools. It's for bike stuff, but they make good stuff. And that's the VP1. This is the classic tire patch kit. Everything you need in here, and it works just fine for motorcycles. We also, because we run tubeless, we need to be able to do tire plugs as well. And this is the lightest, like super, super smallest tire plug kit that I could find. I'll try to find the brand. It's okay. I haven't used it, but I've plugged a lot of tires. I know it will work. But look how small everything is. And we're all about weight and size. That's very important. Look at these little tiny plugs. Cute, huh? That's pretty good. So that'll be fine for tires. So that'll patch pretty much most things. I put an extra cap in there in case I lose one. And this is the combination reaming tool with the plug puller. So it's all in one. Usually you have to have 2 tools for this. This is a superior design. And it looks to be high quality to me. Yeah, it's called Micro or Muck-Off. I'll put links to this as well. I think I didn't remember where I got that. But I was pretty happy with that. That's a super skookum unit right there. Look how small and compact that is. Yeah, that's good. So double tire patch kit, and then my ACR satellite. This is the one that goes to the government. So put the antenna up in a clear space, satellite search and rescue, hopefully. So that's doubled up, right? So, everything in the pack, the survival pack that you would need to communicate or get those signals out. Now for IFAC, I'm working on that. Traditionally, I've kept that on my bike, but I'm going to change that. So that's basically it. I'll not belabor the point here. This here on the riser, just clipped on with a zip tie, but this is an excellent pack.